any sec. Okay, wait. I've made a grave error. I will be back. We're back. Oh no. Well, I'll be here for a long time, Tokens, I think. Come to say hi, I got class now. Good luck with the build. Thank you very much. Good luck with the class. Alright, yeah, my apologies. I started out, then instantly, after starting stream, I realised that my phone needed to be on charge, which is what I'm recording this angle from. So I sorted that out. That's on charge now. The cable's a little dodgy, so hopefully that doesn't give out. We'll find out if it does. How is the network says it's bad, but the number's like double what it was before, so I think we're chilling. Maybe. Oh well. I'm sure someone will tell me. Someone's bound to tell me if it's bad. Alright, where were we? We were about to attach our CPU cooler. Now where are the screws for that? So we've got two screws quite distinctly here. Goes down on there, and then am I missing something? There's nowhere to screw it in. Back to Linus Tech Tips. Back to Linus Tech Tips. Yo, Professor, how you going? I'm consulting Linus Tech Tips once again because I don't know where these screws are meant to screw in. Just visually, there's nothing where the screws should go. Did PC Case Gear do me dirty? Hold on. Or are there more pieces? There might be more pieces that can go onto this. Do you have to change the frame? Yes. Yes, I think that is exactly it. I was worried for a second there, but it does look like that's modular. Okay. Everybody can stop panicking. I think it's bound to be in this box right here. Wholehearted apologies to PC Case Gear. I should have never doubted you. You have not, in fact, steered me wrong. Because yeah, this is what I want. The question is, how do I attach it? Does this come with a manual? Look like it. Okay, this seems to just be hand screwable, so I'll start there. Ergonomically speaking, different story. Not really in frame as I do this. There's like a little... Okay, there's got to be some smarter way to go about this. Surely. How was your game? My game was good. Yeah, I played 2 soccer games. First one for the mixed team. We won that. They were the top team, but they were down a player. That was a good bit of fun. We played very well. And then for the men's game, it wound up being a draw. But it was a good game. It was well played. What am I looking for? I am looking for the Thermalright Peerless Assassin. Just Peerless Assassin. Yeah, Peerless Assassin. Peerless Assassin. Change. By the way, how's the latency of the stream this time around? Ooh, our kilobits are way higher. Wait, are they? Yeah, that's like 20 times higher, I think. I don't remember what it was before, if it was in the thousands or the hundreds. Wait, it's in the tens of thousands now. And by that I mean singular 10,000. Okay, change, what am I looking for? Change bracket. A long Phillips head screwdriver. I think the AI overview has misunderstood what I want.
The 120mm
It's much better than last time.
The clips are hooked
Oh,
over
nice.
the radiator fins, as you'll see. So with the 120mm,
Did it take me straight to the end of it?
the CPU gently into the socket, lining up the notches on the CPU with the plastic parts on the socket, and then putting the lever back down and lifting the little plastic cover out of the way. Make sure that's all secured, but take care while doing it. With the PLS Assassin Unbox, you'll find various different parts in here. Obviously, some are for Intel, so you're not going to need them for an AMD setup, but you'll find that most of them are clearly labelled. And we're using an AM5 motherboard here, so you want to watch out for the little AM5 on it. We're going to need those parts from the top part of that bag, along with these AM4 brackets.
Oh, that's way easier.
Which are the same for AM5.
Oh, I thought I had to like swap out this whole... Oh, you can't see.
In order to...
Oh, that makes way more sense. Okay. Here I thought I needed to swap out the piece that you actually screw down with this, which, come to think of it, was not the cleverest of me because this is like really flimsy plastic. But that makes more sense. And also it doesn't fit the dimensions. I could have ruled that possibility out pretty quickly. I'm telling you, man, they've got to assume the people building these things are less intelligent. Okay, what am I doing with this? You can sit there, I don't care. Alright, so this here is what we want. What are you struggling with, by the way? Nothing anymore. So I was struggling with the fact that this has two central screws that need to go in. Can't really see it. So you've got your plate here and then a screw sort of off central to the two of the edges, whereas what I've got on my motherboard is sort of four corners to screw down, and I was trying to somehow swap out those with this, with the four corners to match, put that onto this somehow. I thought I was going to need to pull off the existing bracket on there, but no, they thought of a much more elegant solution, which is these bad boys. Although, wait, no, I'm still confused. How does he use these? What do I hit space on?
To do that.
Oh.
So this cooler is going to sit
Oh,
down
I
on
hit
the
my
two
numpad.
screws that are sticking upwards from the bracketing we put in place there. So you
And
sit
it didn't
that
even
down
go to the
like
view I
this,
wanted.
Being careful not to rub it around too much because you don't.
Oh, it faces upwards? Wait, am I? One moment. I'll be right back with you. How far through the build percent-wise? Percent-wise, it depends on what you mean. If we're measuring to the first time I power on, I would say we are probably 60% of the way there. It really just depends on how long it takes me to figure out what power cable needs to run to everything. If I remember correctly, changing the frame voids the warranty of the CPU. That is unbelievable. But I think there's a designated adapter, so I think it's happy days. But yeah, Ronan, we took a break because I had to go to soccer. So don't worry, it's not like this is going to take 10 hours. I have only been working on this for about an hour and a half. So to the first boot up, I'd say maybe another hour, depending on how, there we go. Depending on how long it takes me to get through a few more common sense things, I will somehow find a way to make it difficult, no doubt. Okay, now let me see. Oh, wrong view. This one.
Well, it's outside the case before you.
Is this, where is socket setup? He gets these guys.
AM4 brackets here, which are the same for AM5. So don't worry.
And what's he going to do with them?
Have to set those up in a second. In order to...
Could be wrong though. One of my friends said that. I never checked it myself. Well, I'm not changing a bracket or anything. I'm just putting an adapter on, so we should be in the clear.
To do that, first of all, though, we need to remove the standard pre-installed standoffs and bracketing above and below.
Okay, get off the regular standoffs. Can do, can do. Brand ourselves. Oh, alright. I don't know why I was focusing so hard on that. That was a very trivial thing. Did not need to stop speaking. But there we go. Okay, so I should probably keep track of those screws. I'm guessing we're going to reuse those. So let's sit them up here. Next one comes off. Now, I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit, but when we go to put in the graphics card, because that's just about next, right? Let me think. Are there any more parts that we haven't used yet? Apart from the case. So it's pretty much graphics card next. Do I need to do something to make sure, like, should I put it on the box instead of on the motherboard on its box instead of on the plastic on the desk? Because I'm kind of worried about if there's any exposed stuff on the back. Splitgate 2.5 better run at least 34 FPS. Oh yeah. And that's with all the portals placed at once. I have faith in that dev team to optimize it reasonably well.
Low of the CPU socket. So there are 4 screws to remove there, and then you want to take the plastic clips out. I'd recommend setting these aside, putting them in the motherboard box.
I'm way ahead of you, man.
Because you might want to replace them in
It's not a problem for a guy like me.
Out of the way so that we can then secure the bits that come with the Assassin. So in this little bag, you'll notice there's some pink little standoffs.
Pink ones of mine? Lovely.
First of all, we need to put those plastic standoffs over the ports that we've removed the original standoffs from, so we can set those down there, and then we're going to secure that and then put the bracket on top to secure those down as well. So in order to do that, first of all, we need to make sure we line those up properly. So with that AM4 bracket, basically you've got to put it so it has the curve facing the way I'm doing it, so you can get curves up towards the CPU at the bottom, for example. You're going to put that down there, and then we're going to secure the screws through it. So this is an AM5 socket motherboard. Obviously we're using the AM4 bracket because that's all that comes with the Assassin, but it's designed to work like this still anyway.
Okay. Alright, not a problem. I'm AM4, right? I'm AM5. But he said it's the same thing, didn't he? Yeah. Okay, we're chilling. Oh, how was your day, Brannon? You doing well? think they fit the same way either way. By the way, while screwing the fan, do it slightly on both screws instead of screwing one all the way. That is good advice. It is advice that I've heard, not within the PC building realm, but within like changing a tire or whatever. But yes, thank you. Please assume I know nothing. Also, I should switch back to this other view. I'm curious, Professor. Are you here just because you were like scrolling YouTube and you saw someone was building a computer and you're like, I know computers. I bet they need help. He looked confused. Or are you somehow in the rival space? Have you seen my channel before? I'm very curious as to how you found this. Because you've been of great help. And I'm very glad you're here.
So with the on the motherboard nicely, from the top.
Both facing inwards.
Right way up.
Cool. Alright. So I'm not entirely sure. I guess I'm gonna slightly change the mechanism by which... Oh, that's clever. There are screws that go in, but the screws have holes with threads inside them. That's how this works. It's very clever indeed. All I could think about was... I need to see how Haz is going with the build. Well, you're in the right place. You're in the right place. While you were throughout your day. Yep. I imagine. I just know stuff because the guy who built my last PC walked me through it. That's awesome. Well, thank you for paying it forward. I very much appreciate it. I think I need a bigger end on this screw. Is that the biggest one I've got? Do I need to go find another screwdriver? I know you can, well, just throw the screwdriver on the floor, just about. I know you can, I mean, what is it? Let me just double check how the size fits. Because you totally can get away with having a head that's just a little bit too small, but you kind of need to apply more downwards force. And when you've got a motherboard with some circuitry on the back, I kind of don't want to push that into the table harder than I have to. So, you guys get to see my Be Right Back screen for another 30 seconds. Lucky you. I'll be right back. Be right back. Alright, we're back. Sorry. Was just scrolling and found your channel. Algorithm worked because last few days I've also been watching PC build stuff. Planning to build my first PC myself soon. That is really cool. Wait, so when did you say you built your previous? Or not, the guy walks you through it. Guy who built my last PC. Okay, so you didn't say that was recent. In my head that had just happened recently, and so I was thinking 2 PCs in a row. Woohoo! Yeah, sorry, it took me a moment because the wrong attachment was in. It's one of those modular screwdrivers, so I had to chase down the attachments. We back. My day was nuts. Work was wild, but at least I got to come home and watch absolute quality content. I highly agree. Alright, I've read that out of order. You said that a while ago. Was you scroll? Oh, wait, right? Cool. I'm all caught up on chat. Alright. Let's see, is this a better fit? Sure is. Okay, I think that's... Wait. I've got multiple pieces here that I can try. That one's too pointy. Where'd I put the others? Over here. This one looks a little more flat. Oh, like a glove. Okay, that's the attachment we're going for then. Alright, but let's not get carried away. Just because we can get them mighty tight doesn't mean we should. Alright. One of two. Next one should be significantly more straightforward. Let's get you right on. Wait, so we're not going to need their screws at all, actually. So I don't know why the guy in the video said we're going to save those for later, but he's got a beat to the tune of his own drum, I guess. Oh. Now I think I can guess how the next step goes from here. Ooh, I nearly... Whoever said don't forget the thermal paste in the last stream, you almost had me. Almost had me dead to rights. Because I very much nearly forgot the thermal paste. And while I think of it, I better also make sure that I get the that I firstly don't be too clumsy and slam my screwdriver into the motherboard, because that would be a bad experience. But secondly, that I get the plastic off this sucker. Now, I've been told, blob of thermal paste the size of a pea. Let me just double check. You guys in America don't have like ginormous peas, do you? I don't know, I'm assuming you're American. I went to America and I went to buy an onion. Your onions are like 3 times bigger than our onions. It's unbelievable. I suppose you wouldn't know if our peas are smaller. You're on the opposite side of the same problem. Cross that bridge when we get to it. Where is that thermal paste? Speaking of. So we got our tube. This isn't preloaded, is it? Wait, is it? Oh. Oh, maybe it is. Okay. Let me just watch the video. Make sure I don't do something too... Oh my goodness, I keep hitting my numpad. I've got...
hooked over the radiator fins, as you'll still anyway. So with the long screws, you push them through that bracket, through the plastic stand at the bottom. So you can put a blob in the centre of the CPU.
Okay, lovely,
I would
lovely.
recommend, however, making sure that thermal paste is sprayed across the top. You can use a little spatula or something similar for this.
I do not
to
have a
rub it
little
across the
spatula.
top there and make sure there's good coverage. This ensures that the cooler seats down properly over the CPU. And
Never
there's
been to
good
America,
thermal
but heard the
coverage
same
there
thing
to
from my
ensure
uncle.
Nice cooling.
I'm telling you, man.
We then need to remove the little plastic protective cover on the heatsink, and then
The
line
onions
the
are
cooler on. So this
insane.
cooler is going to sit down on the two screws that are sticking upwards from the bracketing we put in place there. So you seat that down like this, being careful not to rub it around too much because you don't want to damage the thermal paste we put in place. And then you're going to need a long screwdriver. Mine was a bit short, so this was quite fiddly to do. But basically we're looking to secure those two screws. I'd recommend screwing one in a little bit, then moving over to the other one, screw that bit up, and then move back and forth between them. This will otherwise adjust the cooler into a bit of a strange position.
Okay, cool. So, do I need to? I know a lot of people don't spread this around. Is it recommended? P size at the center or an X with some dots in the quadrants? X with some dots in the quadrants feels like a good call because I feel like I don't have to spread it with my finger, which I would happily do, but then I'd have to leave you guys on standby while I go wash my hands. So let's ground ourselves because I don't remember how recently I've done that. And then let's do our little cross. Oh, that doesn't stick down quite the way I thought it would. Okay. Let's try and keep it all on the CPU. Okay, keep it all on the CPU. Oh, no, I was about to ask, can you see that? But I'm certain you cannot. It's me, Big E. Good luck, bro. Thank you very much. You absolutely cannot see that. Okay, I'm going to spread it out with my finger and see if it feels right compared to what he had. Oh, that might not have been the play. Oh. No, it's absolutely sticking to my finger and not so much. I really expected this to be more liquidy. Spreading with finger or spatula is risky because extra force could kill a processor. There really is not much force being applied, which I think is why it behaved the way that it did. So, I've heard that if you don't get spillage out the sides, you're pretty much chilling. So I'm just going to add a little bit more because of the area I exposed. And then if we do get a little spillage out the side, I guess I'll be doing a little cleanup. Okay. Let's get this bad boy on there. Okay, that one's definitely got the thread now. Lovely, lovely. What about back here? Absolutely not. Just very gently scoot that over. And don't even worry about that, don't even worry about that. Cheeky little reminder on the phone. just taken a while to get the screw recessed enough to reach. I think there's threading on the piece that it goes through. Otherwise I'm making a bit of a fool of myself right now. Just occurred to me that I can do this, make my life a fair bit easier. Okay, yeah, that's not quite lined up. I actually don't think there is threading on the mount, so I think I just need to push it down a little. Maybe I need to loosen the other side a little. That might be giving me trouble. How far can we go before you actually just come off? We've got some wiggle room. Yeah, no wonder I think I went down too far on that sucker. There we go. Now we're biting. Isopropyl alcohol for cleanup works. Okay, cool. Hopefully we don't need to do cleanup. I don't think we put on that much. We put on more than a pea, no doubt. No doubt about that. Oh no, this side came off. Okay, loosen you off, loosen you off. It's a juggling act here. Man, I'm really trying not to scoot this back and forth. Okay. Is that grabbing? It's certainly contacting. What was that? Should I be scared if I heard a little pop? Well, this grabs now, so I'm really hoping that that's all it was. Or was it? Oh, it was the other side coming off. Okay, thank goodness. Okay, we're laughing. We're laughing. Little jump scare. False alarm. You're still grabbing. Far out. Why is this so difficult? My phone died. You suck. Okay. How about this then? How about this? If I go here, and you lose the face cam, I know, but that's absolutely not gonna work. That's absolutely not gonna work. Swap out the charging cable for something a little more reliable, maybe? Do we have a secondary contender? cannot see at all what is going on. Ugh. Are you charging? No. How about now? Still not. Come on. I was not counting on having technical difficulties with my phone. Okay. It is in fact charging. My phone, which was giving you the overhead angle, died despite being on charge. I think the cable gave out. It's a little bit of a dodgy cable. So it's on charge again now. I'm going to give him a couple minutes to think about what he's done. And then we will get that camera right back online. Until then, I'm going to keep screwing this in and giving you a play-by-play of if anything is going catastrophically wrong. But I think, finally, both of these are biting at the same time. Nope, absolutely wrong. Try again. Why is this giving me so much trouble? Get on there. Is that it? Negative. Far out. It's like you attach one and you can't get the other on. Gave me a scare because one of them popped off and I didn't know what the popping sound came from. I was very worried that it was a pin on the CPU, but that would have been very loud for what it was. Okay, that's biting. Now we tighten you. Just the tiniest bit. How are you not attached anymore? Okay, that's on. You're still on. You're still on. Okay. No, yeah, the stress chat was because yeah, it's got the two screws to tighten down. I tighten one just a little bit and then the other one really doesn't want to go on. Just because even the slightest bit of tightening one, you get that angle, so it's like that I got very lightly tightened on one of them, and then as I tightened in the other one, the first one popped off and I heard the popping sound and I did not know where it came from. Was very stressed at the possibility that it could have been a pin on the CPU, but thankfully that's not what it was. Okay, so now that they're both lightly on, how much pressure do we want?
So keep going back and forth between these two screws until it's nicely secured and you can't tighten up anymore. You don't want to force it because you don't want to damage anything, but you do need to make sure it is tight so there's good contact there. Next up we're going to secure...
Okay. Nice and tight, good contact. That I can do. We've got to go back to our small screwdriver. How is the phone tracking? Are you ready to turn on? 8%. It's fast charging now. Okay. Lovely. Sorry for the lack of visual. That will be fixed very momentarily. The phone's booting back up. I'm going to finger tighten these a bit of the way. And I'm going to have to get the screwdriver involved fairly soon, I think. This casing on top, you can't see it, so I'm not going to talk about it yet, but I'll explain the problem once the phone's back online. Okay, that's better. Finger tighten them as much as I think I can. Back to the little screwdriver because the big one's absolutely not going to fit. And let's get this phone back online. Any second. I'll have to actually switch to the relevant view. Lovely. Bring it in a little closer. About there. Okay. Now, do you fit underneath? No. Okay, well, so yeah, this lid thing, does this lift off? It doesn't look like it, and I'm not gonna try to make it. So we need a very little screwdriver is what I'm understanding. I can pull the back off of this, and that'll give us a little more clearance. Will it give us enough? Ooh, maybe just. Can I pull the back off of this? I think so. Wait, is it even threaded? Do I just... And then that just leaves a piece that's the same size. Okay, well, we tried. Okay. I need to find a smaller screwdriver. I'll be right back. Hopefully these are small enough. Let's find out. Flathead might be best suited to this. Just because of, man, what a pain. Who thought of this? Is there a tool in there that's better suited to... I see this as a fundamental design error. Alright, but we're technically turning it, so... What a pain. tends to be time consuming. Screwing the fan in was not on my my prediction card. Because why should it be? If it weren't designed by a silly, silly fellow. I did. Didn't imagine my CFO looking like this. Is that an SFF build? I don't know what SFF is. Wait, let me tell you. Small form factor. Yes. It's a micro, so it's not mini. Wait, is micro smaller than mini? Micro's in the middle, right? Which is kind of counterintuitive to me. I just realized it's a cooler on top. No, yeah, yeah, that's fair. That's very fair. Okay, that's starting to get, oh no, I thought it was starting to get hard to turn, but it's just because I was turning it wrong. Okay. So how's life? How's life doing for everyone? Oh, when you say that's not how you... Okay, I thought... Not how you imagine me looking, as in you haven't seen me before because you haven't watched a video with face cam, I'm guessing is what you actually meant. Liquid metal in it or nah? Like liquid cooling? No liquid cooling. Just cleaned my PC out yesterday. I'm getting flashbacks. Dude, I don't even... There's something like... You go through this because you get a sick new PC at the end. I'm not... If I bent this... I've bent this screwdriver. Can you see that? Whoopsies. Okay. Maybe I'm imagining the Phillips head one is going to be a little less prone to that, but then again, it's also not... Yeah, it doesn't... It technically turns the thing. You're not bending, are you? No, you're not bending. Okay, I guess that's how we're going forward. Which of you have I screwed down more? You're that far from... Okay, yeah, you... It's your turn. This is ridiculous. What's the spec? Wait, the grip? I don't know what you mean by the grip. What's the spec? The spec is a 4070 Super is the graphics card. The CPU is a AMD not i7, Ryzen 7. It's a 7700X. And we've got 32 gigabytes of 6000 megahertz DDR5 RAM with a cache latency of 30. That broke the bank, tell you that much. That's peak. Does the top plate come off, or is it like that? I mean, I guess I can piss off. Thank you, Professor. Thank you. Does this one work now? It does. Yay. Oh, that's so much better. As much fun as I was having doing it the other way, I think I'll stick to this, yeah. Your turn. There was one more chat that I didn't read. I got so distracted. Let me have a look what's going on there. Marvel Rivals at 60 FPS. Oh yeah. All that just to play Rivals. Not just to play Rivals, also to edit videos about Rivals. I pray it works on the first start. Me too. It's been good to have your spam. Spamali? Spam. I've been reading that as spam. I might be dyslexic. I'm not dyslexic, but I might be. If only the fire emoji was here. That's true. We need to get non-Johns onto the YouTube development team. Can you not send a fire emoji in YouTube chat? I don't know. Did not know that. What if you copy and pasted it from the internet? They've got all kinds of things for you to copy and paste on the internet. Hey, the professor's found it. Oh, talking about the emoji reactions in chat. I don't know if you put them. I did not do any sort of fancy setup. Oh, that is really funny. Professor, I do see your fire chat, but my my color key on... Hold on, I can show you. I'm using a color key to make that work. So this is what the chat looks like, and it's just keyed out the fire at the same time. That's quite funny. Where are we sitting? You're there? You're... I don't know, man. Feel about the same to me. You're getting close to being done. You're not quite so close to being done. Now you're getting close. How about you? You're still pretty much there. Alright, we have achieved firmness on both screws. The heatsink is on. Let's get this bad boy back on here. That's magnetic. That's kind of cool. I apologize to the designer that I insulted. You did a good job. But you should have included instructions. Gotta go. BRB 15 to 20 minutes. Not a problem. Do you turn into a duck at night? It is night, and I am a duck. So put that together. What are the next steps? The next steps are to put the fan on. The fans. Plural. They're going to somehow attach to the heatsink, I think. Or are they to go in the case? Wait, let me... We're gonna find out together. Well, you guys probably already know. It's morning for you. Dude, let me tell you about this thing called time zones. You're... When you get to year 8, they're gonna tell you all about it and you're gonna love it. It's gonna blow your mind. If you're a generic, if you're just hanging out in the stream and you're now afraid to chat because you think I'm going to be mean to you, I already knew Fancy and he deserves it. No, you're chilling, man. What was I doing? I was going back to the video. This one. Okay.
The fans. You'll notice that the brackets come with labelling on them, so these 2 brackets are for the...
I'm showing the camera that's not available, or that's not activated.
120, so make sure you don't mix these up. The rounder fan
Wait.
is 140mm.
Don't mix these up. Oh, I see. Oh, I'm mixing them up. Keep them separate. Okay. I actually think both of my fans are the same, so I probably can mix them up just fine. But let's err on the side of caution. Fancy's caught up. He's caught up.
So
I'm sorry, Fancy. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
And put them through the holes on the front of the fan to then hook into that. These again are then hook over the cooler when it's in place and then set it up so that it's got good cooling. You need to make sure these are installed the right way around as well. So you want to see the front of the fan, that will be the intake setup. So what we're doing here is we're slotting that in the middle with the fan facing towards the right hand side so that it'll be pulling air through the radiator and helping to cool this. Now that obviously goes in the middle and then the 120mm fan goes on the outside. The clips are hooked over the radiator fins, as you'll see. So with the 120mm bracket, we'll repeat this process for the smaller fan. The reason this is smaller is so it doesn't interfere with your RAM. We slot that in like this. Once again, make it...
Okay. Right. Hold on. You're my goat too, Fancy. What am I? This one. You piece. Oh, it's still on. It didn't lose charge. It's downloading an update. I love technology. Isn't technology just the coolest? Alright, why do I feel like there's a sticker on my back? Because I'm crazy. What now? These brackets we're done with. These we don't need. Let's just clear up some of the clutter. What are you? You're 2 empty bags? Oh no, there's a tiny little screw in this one and a tiny piece of rubber in this one. Okay, I guess you can stay there. I don't know what you are either, but you might still be important. And these screws probably aren't important, but until I'm completely done with this fan part, I think I'm just going to keep you around. Let's screw that cap of the thermal paste back on. I'm quite sure we're done with that, unless we have thermal issues. So you need to come back off, and the fan's going in the middle, so I'm told, except I swear my fans are the same size. So, okay, so firstly, this one was smaller because of clearance of RAM. You say? Well, this doesn't clear the RAM. So I guess we're funneling the air out this way, maybe? Is that even an option? Okay, surely if I look this up, oh wait, it's got a picture. Okay, the picture definitely has a fan embedded in the middle. That's good to know. Now, is there... Guys? I just got back home and I just wanted to drop by and say hi. Good luck building your PC. Thanks, Fancy. I appreciate you being here. Let me ponder this. Peerless Assassin. Peerless Assassin. Peerless Assassin fan. Orientation? Can I put it either way? From the front towards the radiator out the back. Yay! Okay, that should be fine, because the RAM's not going to be in the way of that. I was worried I was going to have to wait. I've done so much waiting already. Wait on like another one to ship. Okay, cool. Good. In which case... Let's see. That means one fan in the middle. So let me see again how he attached these bad boys.
Brackets are the right way round, so the fan blades are facing outwards. So what you want to do here is line that fan up on the outside and then hook the brackets around the fins.
He's going over his RAM. He's going the other way.
Into place like this.
Why is he going that way? Mystery, it would seem.
The same direction, essentially. We then have this.
Okay, cool. So, one more time for good measure.
Radiator cooler when it's in place, and then set.
So, you go like this. It's purely just friction holding you guys in, huh? There's a bit of friction, so I can believe it. Alright. So that's one of those brackets on. Second bracket. Sorry, I keep finding myself doing things slightly off of the camera. Let's move that back over this way. Get this bad boy on there. Same thing. Nice bit of friction. Lovely. And now... Okay, look, I think Why is there an up arrow? Oh, that's the way that it's meant to be oriented. Okay, yep. I put it in top and bottom instead of left and right. Let's run that back. Wait, so it's sending the air the opposite direction to what I thought. Maybe that's why he oriented it the way that he did. But I can still put it on the back, right, and just flip it around? Maybe? Let me see what the internet has to say. Peerless Assassin doesn't clear RAM. Move that front fan up above the RAM. Oh. That makes sense. Yeah, that checks out. Bad request. Okay, well, there was an image accompanying that statement. Had to move the fan to the rear. Put my fan facing towards the front of the case. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Linus Tech Tips says this one is fine too. That's a man I trust. Okay, cool. That's not going to be a problem then. I think that's the solution we're going to go for. It may be slightly less pretty on the RGB side, but I do not care. Everything RGB I own is against my will because it was the cheapest option. You know, the RGB's okay. I wouldn't pay extra for RGB, but I guess I'm okay with it being here. And after all, why would I cover up the RGB of my little RAM dudes? I haven't rammed myself in a while. Let's do that, and then you somehow slipped. So let's move you back towards the center of the plastic. Lovely. Now, we want to pull air towards the back of the case, which means, okay, but there was a logo, it was over here. That way facing up, air goes yonder. Is this wire going to be in the way? Nope, no, they really thought of everything. Good work, guys. Good work. The QA team is in fact doing their job. Okay. Which way did it say the air goes? The air goes that way, which means we want to slot you in like so. How exactly does this clip on now? What? Were the clips different? Doesn't look like it. Did I put them on backwards? No, that's not possible. Alright, back to the video. Explain it to me like I'm 5.
So that it's got good cooling. You need to make sure these are installed the right way around as well. So you want to see the front of the fan, that will be the intake setup. So what we're doing here is we're slotting that in the middle with the fan facing towards the right hand side, so that it'll be pulling air through the radiator and helping to cool this. Now that obviously goes in the middle, and then the 120mm fan goes on the outside.
I just not torquing it hard enough? Wait.
Middle and then side, so that it'll be pulling air through.
Maybe not. Okay. Let's give this another red hot go. Like so. Ah, yeah, there's some elasticity to that. I think I did that too high up. Let's unclip you. Bring you down just a smidgen. Get you back on there. Okay, yep. Lovely. Other side. On you go, like so. Cool. Fan number 2. Now we're going to need to put the mount on backwards for this one because we're mounting it backwards because we don't have the clearance on the RAM. Now you're thinking with portals. Your face up. Okay. Why did I pick up both of them at once? That's making it unnecessarily difficult for myself. It's one bracket on. Here we go. No, don't tell me there's clearance issues here too. Okay, well in that case I'm putting it on the normal way. And I'm just scooting it a little higher up, and then hopefully it doesn't interfere with that top plate at the end. But we'll cross that bridge if and when we get to it. Wow, I've been going for an hour. Literally just on the fan. Hooly dooly. Okay. Brackets on there. And you go like so. Okay, now does this still sit on? Sure does. It's not necessarily quite as pretty as if it just sat where it was supposed to, but is that? Oh no, yeah, that's supposed to be there. Cool, okay. Finally the fan is on. Now, he was going to talk about the wires at the same time, was he?
With a radiator and helping to cool this. Now that obviously goes in the middle, and then the 120mm fan goes on. Actually, we then have this splitter cable, which allows you to connect up both fans to a single connector on the motherboard. So take the connectors from both of those fans and plug it into this, and that will allow you you to then use just one connector on the motherboard. Alternatively, you could use CPU fan header and CPU optional if you wanted to do them separately, so plug those into the separate connectors. But what we're aiming for here is the CPU fan header, which you'll see here on the left-hand side of the top of the motherboard. We can connect that up and make sure it's plugged in nicely there. You'll notice that this is a 4-pin connector and there's a little plastic notch there that you have to line it up with and slot it in.
I think this is the cable he's talking about, because this one over here. Oh wait, it could be either one. No, well, this one's got the notches that line up, so it must be you. Let's get you on there. Very nice. I take it the other ones are the RGB controllers. Alright, they are attached. Lovely. Where did he say I'm plugging this in?
Sure it's plugged in nicely there. Left-hand side of the top of the motherboard. We can connect that up to CPU optional if you wanted to do them separately, so plug those into the separate connector. I'll allow you to then use just one connector on your motherboard. Alternatively, you could use CPU fan header and CPU optional if you wanted to do them separately.
CPU fan. Okay, wait, he tells me where, right?
Please plug those into the separate connectors. But what we're aiming for here is the CPU fan header, which you'll see here on the left-hand side of the top of the motherboard. We can connect that up and make sure it's plugged in nicely there. You'll notice that this is a 4-pin connector and there's a little plastic notch there that you have to line it up with and slot it into place so you can't plug it in the wrong way round. Once that's done, you obviously just need to install the motherboard into your case. So I'm using the Haven BF360 for demonstration purposes here, but the logic is basically the same for both cases. Got an 88.
Okay. Fans are connected. Now the RGB doodads. Let's see. Oh, I'm hurting my back leaning over like this. We can worry about those later. We don't need the RGB for the out of case test. That's not a priority. As for PCIe, well, it's time for the graphics card. Back. By the way, make sure not to plug the fan cable in AIO port. Otherwise that fan will be running on 100% all of the time. No, yeah, I've got CPU fan. Now I'm glad you're here because, no wait, I decided I'm not going to do the RGB connectors just yet. Alright, so I think it's graphics card time. Piece de résistance. Okay, let's. I really haven't left space for it. Yeah, Now this one I got second hand, so we don't really have the full unboxing process, but that is fine by me. All that matters is that here it is. Okay. Let's just chuck it back on top of that foam. Maybe that foam would make a nice thing to sit this whole setup on, so I don't have to worry about scooting it around. Okay, as soon as now, move you right there, move you right there, and now we're mobile. Hell yeah. Most beautiful part. Oh yes, indeed. And now I don't have to worry so much about if it's safe to sort of press the graphics card in there. Now I assume that this port here down the very bottom is where it's meant to go. There's a similar port up here labeled PCIe G4 or PCIe X16 G4 1, but that is absolutely not going to have clearance. So I think PCIe G4 EX G4 2 whatever is gonna have to do. Wait. I haven't skipped any steps, have I? Connect chassis fan and a RGB/RGB headers. Should I connect the RGB? For the GPU installation part. Yes. Oh wait, put the motherboard on its box. Okay. Better than foam. Interesting, I wouldn't have thought, but RGB header and RGB. What is ARGB versus RGB? I think I have ARGB. ARGB, yes, okay. So, does it matter? I can leave this unplugged for now, right? Like I don't have to plug in the RGB, surely. I'm going to work off the assumption that that is true, because I can't fathom a world where it's not. Install and connects the power supply. Install the power supply, connects the power supply before, oh, this is saying install the motherboard into the chassis. I don't think I'm going to worry about the power supply until the GPU's in place, I would think. Or is it going to make things easier? I mean, it's going to be a mess with cables on the desk regardless. Install the graphics card. Please note that the power connection is required for selected models. Wait, do I need to? What does Linus say? Clear this up for me, Linus. Installing the air cooler. La-di-da. Just make sure there's nothing fancy going on at the end here.
Any clearance issues with nearby motherboard heatsinks or memory. You may need to either mount the fan a bit higher than you otherwise would, or just scrap it entirely. It's still fine. One fan will do it.
Once the fans are in, look for the 4-pin header.
I could scrap the fan. Okay, interesting. Maybe I'll do heat tests with and without.
Socket, and for ASUS motherboards, it tends to be on the top edge as seen here. Line up the tabs on the cable with the one on the motherboard and press it into position. Either a 3-pin or a 4-pin fan can function perfectly plugged into a connector like this. And as we said previously, all the 4th pin does is add a separate pin for a finer fan speed control via PWM. So 4 pins are ideal, but not necessary. And in the case of liquid cooling, one wire to sense the RPM of the pump because it will draw power from a separate Molex or SATA connector. So that RPM sense wire is just to ensure that in the event your pump fails, your motherboard can either set off an alarm or initiate a safe shutdown. Now, if your cooler has two fans, you're going to want to check for a CPU opt or 2 header. If there isn't one, the cooler will often include a Y splitter that lets you connect both fans to a single header. Usually it is no problem to have 2 fans on one header, but don't go overboard because there are current limits to those connectors. With that done, we're finished with our motherboard for now. But now is also an excellent time to power on our system and make sure that everything's working while it's easy to access. For you air jockeys, you get to relax while the all-in-one liquid cooler users awkwardly hook their coolers up now outside the case, only to uninstall them again once they're done, and reinstall them yet again when everything is inside the case. Yes, it is a pain, but it's...
Step 7. Pre-build test.
Wait, do we run a test before we put the graphics card in?
That's a good thing, because if you don't find out now, you'll definitely find out later. In order to do a quick test, you'll need 3 things. Your power supply with accessories, your graphics card, and a screwdriver. First, if you have one, install your graphics card. This is significantly easier to do while the system is outside the case. Make sure that the tab on the long PCI Express X16 slot is pushed down, then grab your graphics card. Pull off any protective covers on the card edge connector, then line it up with the slot. Give it a gentle push until the retention clip is pushed into the locking position. Make sure it's in straight and you can't see any pins, because outside of the case, there isn't anything to hold it down. Once it's in, one trick to make it a little bit more stable is to use the motherboard box's flap to anchor the card in place, if it does have a flap that you can kind of slide it into. Next, grab your power supply cables. At a minimum, you'll need the 12-volt CPU connector, which is usually 8 pins, but sometimes 4.
How did he... cheeky. Yeah, that can be arranged. I'm just gonna have to... I can ditch the plastic, can't I? What do I pick this up by? Okay. So, we flick this back, which we've already done. Yep. We take, take this cover off, and on she goes. Wait, would this have worked on the higher one? Having it lower down's got to be better for thermals, right? Is there any difference between these two lanes? They both say X16. Should I use the one labelled 1? It needs a little push. Oh yeah. It's should be in the manual. Yeah, the manual for the motherboard kind of sucks. Not gonna lie. But the only thing I'm worried about is it's got 2 slots that the GPU could theoretically go into. 1 and 2. 1 is higher up. 2 is lower down. 1 is like borderline pushing into the CPU cooler. So I'm thinking 2 is probably better, but why did they label this one 2? What's your GPU? The GPU is a, yo! How you going, Mr. Pullman? Wait, I thought you were going to bed. Oh no, someone else ducked in and said that. Wait, who said that? Oh, I did. Fair. 2 is generally a bit slower. The closer to your CPU the parts, the better. Oh, physics. Okay, cool. Let's try 1 then. Let's pull the tab back first. Let's scoot the whole thing over so that can actually drop into that slot. Now this needs a little downwards force, you said. Needs a bit of a push, but make sure the slot is correct. I made sure the slot is correct. Let's give it a little bit of a push. Gentle. It's gone down. Has it gone down more on one side? It sure has. Let's try and be a little more even. Click. That appears to be in quite nicely. Lovely. I'm gonna build my next PC in a month, but I'm waiting for the parts, so might watch this whole process. We're a lot of the way there, but the VOD is there. So the first VOD had me installing the CPU itself. Major embarrassment, because I'm used to seeing videos where they like pull the clasp and the flap comes up where you can like get the CPU in under there. Turns out I had to pull the clasp and then manually lift the flap. That was pretty cool. GG's indeed. So now we're just plugging in some power and we're running a cheeky test. Yeah, so first stream you can find on my channel, should still be public. We put the CPU in, we put the RAM in, we put, what else did we do? We put the SATA drive in, and somehow that whole process took a bit over an hour. Now we have spent like 1 hour putting the CPU fan on, and then all of 5 minutes getting the GPU on. So we made positive time gains on the GPU, I would say. Yeah, good to have you back, Mr. Pullman. I alternate between Pullman and Pullman. Is there a preference?
The card in place, it does have a flap that you can kind of slide it into. Next, grab your power supply cables. At a minimum, you'll need the 12-volt CPU.
Oh, shorten the pool. That's smart. Okay, so CPU and PSU is what we need. Is your SSD a PCIe 5? I believe it is. Where'd the box go? Oh no, it's Gen 4. I'm showing the wrong camera. That one's not active at the moment. Gen 4, is that mirrored for you? It probably, I think it is. You can take my, you know what? You can take my word for it. No, yeah, I didn't really know. Hopefully there's not too much speed difference, because the one I got looked like amongst the fastest. What is it? Because what is the difference? Like, I would assume PCIe 5 would be faster, but this one says Gen 4, and it's not got the speed on the box. Handy. Oh wait, 7100 megabytes per second. Okay, so, ooh, now we get to open a nice little fabric case. Back select this one and Discord notifications. Someone. Alright, that's that handled. Okay, so CPU. Are these ones going to be as nicely labeled as those ones in the video? I mean, I guess it doesn't matter because we can just check where they go on the motherboard and infer which kind we need. Gen 4 offers around 7 gigabits per second. Gen 5 is 10 to 14. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, that checks out. 7.1 gigabits a second, I think. Gen 5 is overpriced like RAM. Bummer. Okay, yeah, I can live with that because I've been running some of my games on a one of those hybrid, solid-state hybrid drives. Here's the tip when putting the board in the case. Oh, and it's only going to get worse. Amazing. Oh, these are labeled. Lovely. PCIe. Okay, that sounds very generic. Power supply. Wait, power supply? Oh, that's like which end is which. Okay, so it's labeled which end goes where. Okay, we've got a CPU one. Do the screws in diagonal so it's even pressure on the structure. This guy is a ball knowledge haver. Gigabytes. Okay. I see that. I read the capital in lowercase b too literally. We've got two different CPU ones. That's what I see in the video, so it makes sense. Wait, or no, do we? Yeah. I'll keep them both separate for now. And wait, so what does he say we need?
8 pins, but sometimes 4. A 24-pin connector, and if you're running a GPU, you'll need as many connections as your GPU requires. Most won't work without them. Expect to see a combination of 6 and 8 pin, or 12 and 16 pin connectors on newer machines.
Okay, that's not confusing at all. But I think only the X870 motherboards and B850 support Gen 5. Oh, okay, so it's like really new then. Case reveal. Soon. The largest one is for... Wait, the largest one is for motherboard. Oh, right, okay, yep, I'm with you. This bad boy. Okay.
Take special note, by the way, that GPU power connectors, even the ones that look similar, are not the same as the 8-pin for the motherboard. Do not force anything. Lining these up outside the case is easy. Make sure the tabs line up, then push them down until they clip into place. You also want to make sure that you press down a little bit more on them after you've clipped them in, just to make sure that they're seated properly. This is especially important for the ATX 12-volt high power connector, which can get a little spicy when it's not plugged in all the way. And this will be especially important later when it's inside the case. If your motherboard has more than one 12-volt CPU connector, usually the one marked as 1 is the primary one that's actually required. But it's good practice to install all of them if you can. These cables can often be split into 2 groups of 4 if, for example, your motherboard has an 8 and a... If your motherboard has more than one 12-volt CPU connector, usually the one marked as 1 is the primary one that's...
Okay, how many CPU connectors do I have? Just the one. That makes life easy. Let's get it plugged in on that end now. And let's do it with this one that's all joined together. Do you have zip ties or something to keep the cords together? Not on hand, actually. Oh, wait. This came with some zip ties. That's not many, but I'm not going to zip tie it outside of the case, of course. But I will cross that bridge when I get to it. For now, let's plug some things in. So, is there a hint as to which way you go? Yes, there sure is. The curve goes that way, i.e. you go this way, I think. Wait, no, that looks backwards. Yeah, he'll surely give a piece of advice in the video. Good luck with cable management then.
To install all of them if you can. These cables can often be split into two groups of...
I've got four zip ties. Came with something. I think they came with the power supply. That's a start.
Before, if, for example, your motherboard has an 8 and a 4-pin connector rather than two 8-pins. With all that done, connect up your keyboard and display, making sure, of course, to plug into your graphics card and not your motherboard if you have a graphics card installed. Then you can flip on the power...
Wait, what? Okay, I think he skips a couple steps, but let's go for it. So, in you go. I don't know if you're facing the right way. I'm having doubts again. Well, there's like curved bottoms to them. So, yeah, that's totally right. That is totally, completely right. Should there be a little bit of force involved in plugging in? Chat, is he cooked? Cable management is not my vocabulary. Look, I didn't say I'm going to fail the cable management. Yeah, should there be a little bit of force involved? It's rough with only 4. Oh. Okay, that's fair. That's valid. Most of the time it takes like 6 to 10. I reckon you guys haven't seen the kind of efficiency that you're about to see previously. I reckon 4 might be too many. They could have given me 3. No, but yeah. So do the power cables? Should I expect to need a little force on these suckers? Yeah, a bit. Okay. Oh yeah. Freeze in. Okay. So this goes to, there should be one labeled CPU, I imagine. No, just plenty of slots. Oh wait, yes, something is labeled CPU. Oh wait, CPU plus 6. CPU 2 plus, what? Uh, 6 plus 2 PCIe. Oh, I understand, yes. Okay. Then you can go in that one. Let's put it in not upside down. Would be a start. Alrighty. By the way, what's this CPU and GPU? The CPU, for cables, it's mostly just pushing gently until you can't push anymore. Yeah, it did slide a bit. I didn't realize it was sliding. Didn't realize it was smooth like that. Not a lot, they don't want to damage the pins. Something Ryzen 7. Yeah, so it's a Ryzen 7 7700X is the CPU. The GPU is a not a 1070. I'm upgrading from a 1070 to a 4070 Super. So we're going to feel a slight difference there, slight improvement. The cables, it's mostly just... Oh wait, yeah, I read that one. Okay, cool. Holy Rivals is so loud compared to you. Yeah, dude, Rivals is a loud game. I've got Rivals turned down to like 30 and below. Okay. So, did he show actually...
No 6 and 8 pin or 12 and 16 pin connectors on newer machines. Take special note, by the way, that GPU power connectors, even the ones that look similar, are not the same as the 8 pin for the motherboard. Do not force anything. Lining these up outside the case is easy. Make sure the tabs line up, then push them down until they clip into place. You also want to make sure that you press down a little bit more on them after you've clipped them in, just to make sure that they're seated properly. This is especially important for the ATX 12-volt high power connector, which can get a little spicy when it's not plugged in all the way. And this will be especially important later when it's inside the case. If your motherboard has more than one 12-volt CPU connector, usually the one marked as 1 is the primary one that's actually required. But it's good practice to install all of them if you can. These cables can often be split into 2 groups of 4 if, for example, your motherboard has an 8 and a 4-pin connector rather than 2 8-pins. With all that done, connect up your keyboard and display, making sure, of course, to plug into your graphics card and not your motherboard if you have a graphics card installed. Then you can...
Okay, so I've got one of these bad boys for the graphics card. Where we've got, so this goes into the graphics card and then 2 regular PCIe ones. I guess that is to say I'm confident in what I need to do. I'm just saying it out loud so that if for some reason I'm a moron, you guys can pull me up on it. 4070 Super is better than 5060 Ti, right? Maybe? I'm not too aware of the comparisons. I think so. I think it's very similar to the 5070. So assuming the 5060 Ti is worse than the 5070, I would assume yes. Okay, so we need 2 regular PCIe cables. Would you look at that? Here they are. Wait, is this 2 PCIe or is this a PCIe and some other weird thing? Oh, these are like daisy chained PCIe. I feel like it would be stupid to daisy chain into the... It feels like a bad call, right? So I'm not gonna do it that way. I'm gonna do it... If we got PCIe that's like just normal... No. No, we absolutely do not. So is it, what I'm asking then is it safe to use this one cable on the power supply end to plug in both of these to the one graphics card? Intuitively, that feels like something an idiot would do. But maybe that's how you're meant to do it? Surely not. Surely not. I could just use my second, so I've got 2 of them, just like that. I could even use this one that's got this also designated for a CPU that didn't get used because I've only got 1 CPU plug. Yeah, it's safe. Okay, cool. It's safe, but is it ideal? Is it better not to, or is it just like... 2 8-pin feeds. Rather, high quality single cable. Blah, blah, blah. Could be wrong, but the Founders Edition says it uses this. Just depends on the GPU model. Okay. Bigger GPU equals more pins. Yes, you can daisy chain into an RTX 4070 Super, including its 8-pin to 12 VHPWR adapter, especially since the 4070 Super is a 220 watt card, but it's highly recommended to use 2 separate 8-pin PCIe cables from your PSU for stability and safety. Okay. So unless I need those for something else, is there anything else I'm going to need those for? Does anything else use PCIe? It doesn't look like there's even anywhere else. Oh wait, well, unless it's on the case. But I feel like the case parts typically don't use PCIe, or am I wrong for that? Some even have 16 pins. Well, this essentially does, right? Because it's 16, it's 8 and 8 is what the adapter's working with. 8 here, 8 here, and then it goes into a 12 pin. Or maybe that's what you meant. Maybe you meant on this end. I don't know. Then I guess my other question is the other one which says CPU, because there's a second one also labeled CPU, but it looks like the same as the PCIe connections. And since there's no daisy chain coming off of this, that looks like less mess. So can I use this into one of the two of these so that I only have one loose daisy chain guy hanging around? Is a CPU cable generic PCIe? No, a CPU power cable is not a generic PCIe cable. They are keyed differently and have opposite pinouts. Okay, that settles that. Let's see, let's compare side by side. It's a power supply end, PCIe. What's this one that I'm comparing? Yep, they're not wrong. They're not wrong at all. Okay, so as long as nothing else needs the PCIe, I should be good just to use the two separate ones and have two daisy chain things hanging loose, which is a bummer, but it is what it is. Now, which end of these? Are these identical? Does it matter which one goes into the power supply versus the motherboard? Oh, it definitely does matter because they're a slightly different configuration. Oh wait, or are they? They look similar. 8 pins is for CPU and PCIe for GPU. PCIe is only for GPU? In that case, yeah, that's no problem. I'll run the two of those and let the daisy chain from each of them just hang loose somewhere. Try and tuck them away, cable manage them somehow. This big one for the motherboard, is this guy the same forwards and backwards? Oh no, on the, okay, never mind. Looking at the power supply, that becomes much more obvious. Yes, yep, you're one step ahead of me. Okay. So now what orientation? That orientation. Let's keep those fan cables running on the outside. slot you on in like so. Nice and gentle. Nice. This is slightly painful. I'm yet to hear any sort of click, which means it's not in all the way, right? Oh wait, no, I heard sometimes they don't click, do they? Nope. There's the click. I mean, it visually looks like it's right the way in there. It's the only way possible. Oh wait, yeah, I've already read that. Very good. Okay, just another gentle push, just in case. That seems to be in there. Nice and snug. Okay, and now into the power supply. Lovely. So yeah, what confuses me, okay, I guess, so on the power supply end, you've got like the PCIe and CPU seem to be able to plug into there interchangeably. So I guess the difference is mainly just how the physical plugs are keyed to only go in a certain way, which just seems kind of strange to me. But well, people who designed this are cleverer than I am. I'm sure they did it for a good reason. That's one PCIe. And here is the second. Absolutely none of this daisy chaining nonsense. save that for the RGB, I do believe. All right. Yeah, you go in like so. Wait, let me double check that. Yeah. I don't like this part. It's like talking the whole thing. Ugh. Once again, I did not hear a clip go, but it looks flush. Oh, that's the sound of the clip. Not a very clippy sounding clip, but oh well. All white build. Yeah, kind of. Pretty much. Is there anything that's not white? I mean, the motherboard's not really white. Oh, I guess it's a little bit white. Yeah, pretty much. I didn't like set out initially to do an all white build, but then I got my graphics card and it was white. Blue and white go clean. Is there much blue? There's not much blue. There's a little on the motherboard, but I don't think you too much see it. But maybe I can set my RGB to be primarily blue, because I think you're onto something. Blue and white are incredibly clean. Oh, it's Tokens. How we doing? I just read the messages without reading who they're from. I'm doing great. How was your lunch? Did you go out for lunch, or did you just cook it up at home? Or I suppose you could have ordered it to your door. That's also a possibility that I will not frown upon. Blue for fan RGB. Hell yeah. HDMI cord or DisplayPort. Let's go DisplayPort. Where are we? I know I've got one down here. It's great. We cooked some noodles and made some salad. Nice. What the heck? Am I crazy, or did I hear a pop? There shouldn't be a pop because there shouldn't be power. Perhaps I imagined it. Can't wait to watch your Spidey streams. Hell yeah. this side. Okay, I've got to move my monitor a little closer. Give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. I guess I'll just disable the webcam. Do it this way. So I've got to tilt this whole monitor so that I can see where my ports are. Over here. How bad can one man be at plugging things in? Unbelievable. Alright, so hope it turns on fine first boot. So there's obviously no Windows or anything installed on this. I've got a drive with Windows on it. Should I be plugging that in now on the very first boot? Oh, you're still on the ground. Should I be plugging that in for the very first boot, or should I be worrying about that after we've seen that it boots to like the BIOS or whatever? No, not really. Okay. So I'm just booting with no operating system installed. Just check it turns on fine and monitor gets display. Alrighty. So I just flick on the power supply, right? What's Linus say?
On the power switch on your power supply and wait, where's the power button? About that, there isn't one. Not always, anyway. This is where the screwdriver comes in. Find the front panel header for your motherboard, often in the lower right corner, and then find the pins labeled for power switch. What now?
Stick the screwdriver connect to them together?
Yes. Seriously. Your screwdriver doubles as a button. Who knew? Wow. What else can screwdrivers do? LTDstore.com? Maybe? Someday? Anyway, if you have a boot screen, mash the setup key.
Can this guy stop making jokes and explain it like where I'm, as if I'm stupid? Which pins am I connecting? Power, power, power. 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 Audio, SIM-bus, fan, Control C, COM, USB. Excuse me, good sir. Generally the third and fourth on the top part, but check first if your motherboard has another kind of layout. Like top part? Power switch. Where did he find that though? The top? Oh, ATX power. Wait, no. No, not the top of motherboard. Yeah, it looked like he was at the bottom of this motherboard, but I don't see anything labelled power down there. Place your bets now. Will the operating manual for the motherboard have anything useful? Those who voted no, give yourself a pat on the back. Go to F panel port, okay? F audio, Simbus, F panel. Oh, that's really small writing. Power, okay. You've got plus power, minus power. Wait, what? They're so far apart. I don't think they're next to each other like they are on his.
Stick the screwdriver in. Yes. Serious. What now?
What?
In the lower right.
Oh, right. Power SW. Power button. Third and fourth at the top. Layout is written below. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, I had power. There's multiple things labeled power, but it's the same as his one. So I'll show you what I mean. Where he's also got power over here, but power switch is referring to two things. So I need to join them. Very good, very good. All right, I guess it's time to go. Step 1. Wait, is my screwdriver ready? You're too big. Here we go. This is the Goldilocks screwdriver. Right in the middle of the other two. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed indeed. All right. There's a light on the graphics card. A red light. Do I stop? I'm turning it off until I know what that is. Why is it still on? Yeah, it's fine. I'm turning it back on. They are just indicators that power is flowing. Okay. They shouldn't make them red. Because, well, I feel like that one's self-explanatory. Wait, how did you end up all the way over here? Yes, my lighting setup includes a desk lamp. Sue me. And it's going off for now, because that's quite obnoxious. Okay. Connecting the third and fourth pins. Things are happening. I can still touch this, right? I don't know why I need to ground myself. If there's an error, we have to decode from which LEDs are on. I think we're good. This automatically switched back to my other display. Go to display port. Then we gotta wait for minutes. Okay, that's the lesser of two evils, because my face in absolutely zero light is not ideal. Piss off. Stop turning back to my regular monitor. Kermit says, yo, just woke up. You got here at a great time. We're just turning on for the first time now. Outside the case, display port. So it's normal that I don't have anything on my screen yet, right? Or is that not normal? By the way, keep checking if motherboard's lights change from time here and there. That means it's working fine. Yes, yes, completely normal. Okay. There are currently no lights on the motherboard that I can see. The fans are going, that much is for sure. And that LED indicator on the GPU has turned off. But the fans are going, so it's clearly getting something. This part is stressful. They didn't tell me I was going to have to wait to even see if the screen turns on. I thought the screen would just turn on or not turn on. Gotta wait a bit. Maybe then every motherboard has their own types of LED codes. I don't even see where the LEDs would be, to be quite frank. Let's see if they're labeled. Oh, top right? No. Nope. RGB, da-de-da, HDMI, such and such. To PCIe, battery, empty socket. Some next to audio ports. I see the audio. Oh, are they where the LEDs would be? PHD 6000, but instead of zeros for the 1000, it's... Oh no, all the zeros are like that. PHD 6000, does that mean anything? What's your motherboard, by the way? It is a Asus B650M 4YW Wi-Fi. How are y'all? You guys going good? Small parts like next to 24 pin connectors. Do you only have one fan attached to your cooler? No, I've got two. There's one in the middle and then one over here on the back face. Or the front face, I guess, because it's pulling air in and through that way, I think. Yeah. Although I was told that only one fan works fine. And it's a little annoying that this is sitting above the RAM, so I'll see how it looks once the RGB comes on and see if it annoys me, then consider either moving this to the other side where it will still have to be up a little bit to clear the, the back I/O panel. They are really small, hard to notice. Surely they'd be easy to notice if they were on or not though. You said they're error codes though, right? So like I wouldn't expect them, I shouldn't expect them to be on, should I? Or should I? Should be top right. Oops, forgot you were tethered to a charger. What are we looking at? There's top right. Let me get my screen back on. Like there's maybe some little bumps that I could imagine being LEDs, but they're not turned on. And there was like these down here by the PHD 6000. They look like they could maybe be LEDs, but they're also not turned on. So basically, like at some time they will start lighting up, indicating the part starting. But if they remain on and PC shuts down or something, then it's error code. Okay. How long before I start freaking out? Is it fairly normal to have to wait a while before anything happens at all? Because my screen's not on. Mine took 10 minutes. Oh. Was that 10 minutes with no lights? It's a really stressful part, but the fans are running, so it means it's going good as of now. Sweet. Move this over here to where you guys may or may not see when the first lights come on. No, it looks like you're absolutely not going to see it, but there you go. Finally sit down for a minute. Oh. Lights for me started midway, I would say. Alright. Kill. But PC might also restart a few times. Absolutely fine. Okay. I have heard that, but I'm so glad you reminded me, because I would definitely start stressing. You know what? While we're waiting on this, let's distract ourselves. Let's do something fun. Let's open the case. Like I'm speaking 7 to 8 times. Okay, I'm glad you said that, because I would not have predicted it would be that many. Alright, let's get this case open. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to open the box off screen, because it's definitely got my address on it. So I'll get that box open, and then I'll show you what we're dealing with. Where'd my scissors go? Here. So pretty, guys. best way of pulling this out. Are any lights on? Not up the top. I really don't think there's LEDs up the top right. What do I know? Wait, does Linus say? Yeah, it's okay. Excited for the case, boys. I'm also excited, but I need to ease my mind and see what Linus says about the It's too quiet for me to hear now that it's not coming through my monitor. Could it be a problem that I was holding that power for like probably a fraction of a second? Oh, I definitely shouldn't do it again because that would be equivalent to turning it back off, hey? Yellowish stuff. Oh, maybe I do see it. Wait. Yellowish stuff? Yeah, I'm sure I'll see them when they come on. Wait, that's what they're supposed to look like? Yeah, I definitely don't have LEDs. Right? I really just don't think I have them. I'll send a picture on your Discord, thank you. I swear I don't have that. Wait, am I crazy? Straight up cannot see anything of the kind. It will indicate which part of boot process is on. If it stays on while PC shuts down, it means a problem with that part. Thing is, I swear, there aren't. There's. I need to look if there's a video for this because I cannot find the LEDs. I did not need to put an intro on this video. I know you can't see it, but I don't have that. What on earth? I don't have that. Should say QLED there, according to your motherboard. Somewhere near the top right, yeah? Oh. Yep, yeah, there's just nothing there. Like, they're not exactly subtle, are they? They should be right up there. There's nothing there. Focus. I'm trying to hold it steady so it'll focus, but my internet got disconnected. Where are we right now? I still cannot find, like, there aren't any LEDs. So I guess my question, am I safe to turn it off, and should I do it at the power supply? No, jolly. So what's happened is, like, the fans are on. The fans came on. There was an LED indicator when I first plugged this into power, a red indicator on the graphics card. Did the display turn on? No, yeah, there's been nothing come through to the display. So yeah, we had a red LED on the graphics card. Then I connected those pins to get it started. It started up right away, but it's just been the fans going the whole time. There don't seem to be any LED indicators on my motherboard, so it's really difficult to get a read on what's going on. Yeah, I don't know what to do because people suggest like you can try reseating things, but like I'd have to turn it off first. Do I turn it off at the power supply? Is that safe to do? Did the display turn on? Wait, I already read that. Oh yeah, and I just zoomed in. I take it you didn't catch me zooming in on the motherboard. But I did briefly zoom in on that to show that, yeah, there's just no LEDs up there. I'll see another motherboard box, okay. Is the display completely black? Yeah. I didn't see a flicker because the display wasn't turned on at the time, because it was still on my primary computer, because it kept switching itself back to that until I unplugged the display. But shortly after the fan started spinning, I turned on the display, and now it's just been black since. Now it was mentioned potentially, is it DP? Yes, it's DisplayPort, yes. Although I'm a little bit dubious as to my cable. And I swear I heard a pop when I plugged in the cable, but it doesn't make any sense. Because the power supply was off, the other end of the cable wasn't plugged into anything. Might be a cable problem. Alright, let's see, do I have another cable kicking about? Is it okay if I use HDMI? I could get another display port, but I'd have to unplug it from the monitor that I'm using right as we speak. Okay, yep, HDMI is okay. And let's give it a red hot go. Bloody hell. Oh, okay. Alright, try to do it blind. No good. Yes, don't plug into motherboard. Okay, cool. So do I need to be careful about the possibility of, like, as I plug in the new cable, I'd sort of run the risk of moving about the GPU, right? And given that it's not exactly clamped down by anything, is that a risk? Like, because if it comes up out of its seating a little bit, I imagine that would be problematic. Also check if your monitor is on the same port as the cable. Yeah, I did manually switch that over. By the way, oh yeah, yes, and the monitor cable is in fact plugged into the GPU, yep. So I guess I just need to hold this down as I swap over. Okay, that's out. DisplayPort no signal, there's a good reason for that. HDMI port perhaps? Looks to be black still. HDMI no signal. HDMI 1 no signal. Let me just confirm that that is indeed what I plugged into. As long as GPU is in support with the gap there at the motherboard like Linus showed, yeah it is. What's your cable plugged into the GPU? I can't tell. It's a little adapter. So it's a 12 pin which then goes into two separate PCIe cables. Now, yeah, just where I'm weirded out is the fact that this had a red light to indicate that it... Oh, no, your DisplayPort cable. What do you mean? What about it? Is your cable plugged into the GPU? Oh, yeah, the cable, the DisplayPort I unplugged because I was testing the HDMI one instead. And yes, it was into the GPU the whole time, and still is. The HDMI now, that is. Can you show the other side? And then, yeah, there are supposed to be LED indicators up here potentially, but they just aren't. That light just indicated that it's working. If it was an error, the light would remain on. Okay, so GPU is good. Probably. Just the fact that the fans are spinning means that it's like definitely fine, right? So is RAM like the number one concern at the moment? Try Tech Sources tutorial. He has a troubleshooting section. Okay, I'll turn this back to whoop. Okay, you guys can just chill out down there while I plug the correct cables back in. Now, one thing that was said was potentially having to mash the delete key. That doesn't have anything to do with it, does it? But I guess right now, if monitor's still not showing, then turn it off and check cables. How do I... Okay, so turn it off at the PSU, right? Yep, okay. Oh, and now the light for the GPU is back on. Okay, cool. Lovely, lovely. And now it's off. Wait, what? Well, I guess that makes sense. It stopped getting power. What? Are we back? Weird. Okay.
You just clicked on the only video you're gonna need to watch to help you build your very own PC. There is a reason why my 8-pin, dual 8-pin, or one 8-pin and one 4-pin. Hence why the connectors are split into half. So for example, this motherboard has a single 8-pin and a single 4-pin. So I will need the exact amount of male EPS connectors. I'm going to use a full 8-pin and split the second one so that I can plug in the 4-pin socket. Once again, if your cables are separated from the power supply, find the end of the EPS cables and plug it into the back of the power supply. It's usually labeled power supply on the end that you need to connect to the power supply. And you can plug these into either the CPU or the PCI section of the power supply. These only go in one way, so you can't then you're going to use the included adapter cable, unless your power supply comes with a 12VH power cable included, which looks like this. It usually has the words 600W written on the connectors, and it has a total of 16 pins. If your power supply has this, skip over to the next section, otherwise continue watching. Plug the male portion of the connector into the graphics card, making sure the clip sits over the notch and that there is no gap between the connection. The rest of the steps are exactly the same as before when plugging into the PCI connectors.
Wait, I've got one of these. Stream frozen for me. No, what happened? Why is my... Okay, wait.